those booths are unattended for
That's
20,
right.
30, 40 minutes. You're going to
Oh.
sell. Yeah, Cassie, you love free drawings. You're always like, hey, let's do
Oh,
free.
Daniel's still talking to me.
And that's all right. It works. So
We're going to wait just a couple minutes for a couple people to
don't
get in.
walk away from it. Be prepared. You know, if you're thirsty.
Am I listening to Daniel?
Or something, you know what I mean? Work your booth.
Can y'all hear me?
You're at your booth. Don't just
Yes, I can hear you.
people. By the way, there's a lot of people.
I don't think I'm listening to you.
Out there for you to use.
All right. We're going to wait just another minute real fast.
Surveys. I did a survey there with the guys at work. Last I heard, he had 13 guys who wouldn't even engage him with our section before.
Whoever you are, you're listening to good stuff.
So that's free. You know, hey, bring us a survey. If you do the survey, you get entered, you know, for drawing to win such and such.
Katie, it's you.
It is me. It won't mute me.
I got you. That's funny. I was like, who's listening to Daniel? That's funny. Oh dear, I don't know. This time change may not be very good for people. Oh well. Wow. Yeah, this is really low compared to what we normally have. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about customer care. And what I really hope is that if you have a great way that you do things for your customers or whatnot, that you'll share with us, because it is one of the most important parts of your business to have that customer care. And then we're also going to talk about income producing activities, because I feel like many times we get caught up in things that really are not income producing, and we kind of need to get away from that. So when we start talking about that, Sabrina, we can kind of go over what we heard on the director call today, because we thought it was so good. So maybe you can help me with that. We had a really great director call today and from corporate, and it was just a really big eye-opener on some of the things that like we get caught up in doing that are just not income producing. And many times people feel like they need to do these things. In reality, they don't. Okay, the way it's looking, just so y'all know, next week we'll be back to 9 p.m. So let's get into customer care. Why do we have customer care? Well, because your customers need to feel appreciated to continue to come back to you and to order from you, to reorder, to refer you, to do anything that they do for you. Now, last year, I made it my personal mission to be better with my customers. And I did a sample. Okay, the way I did it was, I don't even have any. I might have one. I just threw a bunch away. So I do have one. Okay, nope, that's not one. Oh, mercy, I've got stamps over here, just all over this stuff missing. Anyways, this is not it, but I used these things. I put a postcard in it. I would put like the warmer of the month stuff. Sorry, I'm muting people. I would put the warmer of the month. I would fold it, put it in here. I'd have, usually that was all that, I put a sample in it, and then I would fold it and I would mail it. Let me just tell you. This was so time consuming for me. It was definitely not income producing. And actually my husband I would stuff them and he would fold them over. And I was sending out about 100 a month. And when I was sending these out, sorry, just trying to mute everyone. I had to use these stamps. And these stamps are like 70 cents maybe. I may be wrong. 70 cents. 70 cents for 100 of those. You can do the math and see. I mean, that's like, it wasn't cheap. So I committed to doing
$70.
Yes. Well, I mean, I knew that. I just wasn't going to do the math. I know what it is.
I know.
But that's not cheap, right? Like, that's a lot of money on mailings. When I first started Cincy, let me tell you, I would send samples in envelopes to people. My first year, and the envelopes was bulky, so again I still had to pay a lot of money for these, not just a stamp, and I did not see a return from them. So I decided to commit to doing this last year, and there are a lot of people that still do it and they have great results. I personally did not, So after probably November was my last time to send it, and I decided I wasn't going to send it anymore because it was really a lot of money, okay? And the way I did it was you would get it for 3 months, and I had postcards. You know, I don't have them around me because I'm not doing it anymore, but I had postcards for width of the month. Those of you that are around for some time, you saw the videos I did. And then another one that said, oh no, please don't go if they had not ordered within 3 months. And I would send that one in hopes to get orders. I'll be honest, I don't feel like I had a good return with this. So I'm telling you that because no matter what you decide for your customer care, if you're sending samples, if you're sending whatever, you have to figure out what's going to work for you and also realize that it's okay to change what you do. So I committed for 2017, I was going to do that. I had a spreadsheet and I would rotate people out and I'd mail them out. But for me, it did not bring in the money, the return that I wanted for my investment for sure. So this year, I'm going back to what I always did before. And all that simply is, y'all, I really am prepared, but I forgot to, I guess that it doesn't really matter. I have thank you postcards like this. For anyone that orders from me, if you're my customer before, you may have gotten one. It has my picture on it. If you're going to make postcards, put your picture on it. They always say people have a hard time, unless you're me, really, throwing away anything with a picture on it. Or Sabrina, I bet she doesn't keep many pictures either. But these you can see my kids. And then on the back, if you get them done on Vistaprint, you can go ahead and have stuff typed up. And then I just signed it, and then I can put their address. And then what I'm doing is I'm putting a sample of the month sticker. I'm really not sure if I'm going to do that. I'm really going to, okay, what I decided was I'm going to be sending this out to people that order in that month. So like when I send them out this month, they're going for February orders. Now, if they're local to me, they always get one of these with a sample usually in their order because, I mean, obviously I'm going to put it in their bag and that's good. Some people you will find as you're on Brave Family and people share what they do, everyone's going to do it differently, but you want to make sure that your customers feel appreciated and they know that you notice. So there's a girl on our team that she was my customer. I guess we just celebrated our 1-year friendship anniversary on Facebook, but she was my customer for about 6 months before she joined. And she told me that she had another Scentsy consultant before me. She was invited to a Facebook party with me. And the reason she kept coming back to me and the reason that she joined my Facebook group was because she got this in the mail from me. I was like, what? It made a difference to her that someone actually took the time out to thank her for the order. So you never know who you're going to like bless in their life with a thank you card. Early on, before I was willing to invest in Vistaprint, by the way, don't go ordering on Vistaprint till you see a 50 or 60% off anyways, because you can get lots of sales with Vistaprint. But I would just buy big packs of like these thank you cards from Target, from Michael's, I think. Michael's is probably the one. And they have like 50% off of big things of cards and just put a thank you card in it. It was a lot more writing. And the reason I went to postcards was because I was having to write a lot at that point. But right now, while you're just getting, if those of you that are just getting started, if you don't have postcards, just make sure you're telling people thank you. Sabrina, can I let you share what you do? I'll unmute you. Oh.
Sorry, I'm trying to set up so I don't spill my drink here. Okay, so I actually made a list of things that I do for my customers that might make them feel special or keep them coming back to me. And you know, some of this you guys probably already do, but if you are, then great. You know, it's just another way to show that you're good with your customers. Sorry, when things pop up, I get distracted. Okay, so first of all, my customers, they never pay shipping, because local customers, sorry. Out-of-town customers, I charge them at least our old $5 rate if they've been around that long, but I didn't increase it when Scentsy did. But local customers, they never pay shipping. If I get an order, I let my customers know that if they place an order with me every weekend or Friday to Sunday at some point, I try to put in a $200 order. That is my goal. So if they're placing an order with me, I'll remind them, thank you, you know, I'll be sure it'll go in. I'll place your order by this Friday, and then Scentssy's closed for the weekend anyway. So they know they're at least waiting a week if they place the order with me on Monday, because I have to have time to collect other orders, and you better believe that I'm going to be doing some customer follow-ups and doing whatever I can to get to $200 by the time Friday comes around. Or I need to make sure I have a local party set up that I can just add their order to and get the free shipping that way. So my customers never pay shipping. The other thing that I do is when I get my Hostess rewards, I stock up on light bulbs. And again, a lot of consultants do this, and this is why I actually started doing it, is because I remember way back before I even joined Scentsy, the consultant that I went to a party for said, you buy a warmer from me, you get your light bulbs free. And I thought, ooh, that's really awesome. And it takes forever for our light bulbs to go out anyway. So I always give my light bulbs free. So, I let them know if they buy a warmer, they have to buy a warmer from me, and then they get their light bulbs free. And I actually was at a party with a customer that had a consultant, but she said, she was just there to support her friend. And then I mentioned the light bulbs free, and this other consultant didn't give their light bulbs free. And she was like, well, why doesn't this person do that? And I'm like, I don't know. Everybody does their business differently. But for sure that she went home and she was thinking, this person doesn't even offer me a light bulb free, and this person is. So who is she going to come back to?
Well, I mean, she already has come back to you a few times, right?
She has. And when she came in and I knew she was somebody else's customer, I told her, I said, don't even feel like you have to buy at this party. I totally get that you're supporting your friend, just have fun, whatever. But she ended up buying almost $200 that night. So it was pretty awesome. But anyway, along with the light bulbs free, I also, if I have a customer that is really a good customer, but they're really wanting, say, a warmer, because sometimes our warmers, the $45 warmers or the $50 warmers, and they just can't part with the cash right away. Then if I've got a party closing and I've got that extra half off item and it's a good customer, then I'm going to offer it to them. And I'll totally offer. I was like, hey, I know you really wanted that mid-century warmer that costs $50, but I've got an extra half off item. Would you want it for $25? And I'll totally do that. I don't do it often, but it's enough to where people love me as their consultant. So that's one thing. And then like Cassie mentioned, everybody local gets a sample in their delivery. And if they bought warmers and wax, then I'm going to try and put a sample of our laundry products in there. So I try to make it a sample of something that they did not purchase, so that way they're, I'm potentially giving them something new to try and getting different business from them. But yet I'm also giving them something that they're going to be like, ooh, look what I got. And let's see what else. Oh, if I have a hostess that is struggling with a party also, like she's really close to her goal in the party, I'll take an outside order and I'll add it so that she can get the hostess rewards. Or sometimes I'll keep the hostess credit for myself, but I'll at least give her the half off item, because I'm adding, it depends on how close she is to the 200, whether or not I'm going to keep the $20 free or just give her, all the hostess rewards. But if I had to, add a lot to it to get there, then I'm definitely going to keep the free stuff, but I'm going to at least give her a half off item for, attempting to host a party. And then, Cassie, I was going to mention about, I guess I should wait on the following up, because that is part of customer care, but I know we were going to talk about that later with the
yeah, let's talk about that later.
Okay, so that's pretty much just the brainstorming list that I came up with of things that I do to make my customers feel special and love me as their consultant.
Awesome. So you want to make yourself stand out, and I'm going to give you guys an example, and I think Elizabeth Wilson is on here. I think that's her phone number down there. Anyways, she came over one day. She was at her in-laws, and she came over and she brought her cousin over and a friend over. Yeah, or her sister-in-law over and a friend over, and the friend has not joined Cincy yet. And we were just sitting at a table talking, and the friend made a joke about how even though Elizabeth joined, she really, and this was not the first person I've heard say this before, she really had a hard time because she really wanted Sabrina's customer mail, like that comes in her packaging. And we joked about it that night when we talked, like, this is like an eye-opener on like how important it is. So make yourself stand out. I also do free bulbs. Sabrina does a lot of home parties, so she's able to share that. Most of my parties are online or customers just bringing me their orders. And if they're local to me and they need a bulb, as long as they've ordered like recently-ish, I get them a bulb for free. That's not a problem. I don't really ship bulbs because the shipping is more than it's worth. Every now and again, if they ask and they're placing a big order, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll get that for you. And I'll just pay the difference on their order. But most of the time it's reserved for my locals. Free bulbs, free shipping. I'm like Sabrina, always, and I'm sure many of you do this, you let them know, hey, I have a free shipping order going in. And I'll tell you what, if someone's like, hey, I need some bars, I will take that order. I will not charge them shipping, and I will bust my tail to get to $200 to get their free shipping. And my people local are totally okay waiting for that free shipping because they know I'll have something going in randomly. So those are a few things we do as thank yous with our customer things to help that customer care. Now let's talk about Facebook. If you have a Facebook page, which most of you do, if not all of you, I would highly encourage you to get a customer group. You can call it, well, mine's Waxy Cassie customer group. Some people call it your VIP customer page. That way you can post things in there. I just started posting and I'm like, hey, actually today was my first time. I meant to do this in January, but you know, I was gone and life just got in the way. But I posted a graphic about whose birthday is in March. Now, whenever people respond, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw one of these scent circles in the mail to them. In the back, happy birthday. I want them to know I'm thinking about them, not just Cincy, but hey, I appreciate your business. I always let people know, like, it's because of you that I'm able to stay home, but throw a scent circle in the mail as a happy birthday gift. Okay, Cassie, that costs money. You're right. So the more you do this and the more parties you put in, you're going to have free product credit, half off. And that's how you stock up on your bulbs, you stock up on scent circles, and you use them as thank yous. Many times when I have local orders, not all the time, but a lot of times when I'm tying it up with a ribbon, I'll tie a scent circle up in the ribbon if I have some, and there's a freebie for them. And I mean, really, they cost $3, so it's not like it's just like a freebie unless you get it free. So don't go buying products to give people, but work to get them free. The longer you do this, the less Cincy you'll personally need, and you'll be able to stock up on this stuff for sure. The other thing we shared a few weeks ago was the Rock'em Sock'em, right? Any kind of incentive you can do among your customers and that are hosting parties. So we just launched this this month, some of us, and you know, if you didn't watch that training, I can repost it. But just a different ways you can do challenges within your customers to be able to give back to them. Another thing is, like Sabrina said, I do the extra half off items, and I go through my Facebook group and I look and see who's ordered from me recently or who I knew wanted a warmer, like Sabrina said. The other thing I'm just starting this month that I'm really excited about is 3 customers of mine a month are going to be getting a piece of Happy Mail from me. And what they're going to be getting is simply a Starbucks gift card. And I'm going to put it in one of these thank you cards. If you're like, if you're new starting out, this is not stuff you have to do. Or I'm saying 3 people, pick one. It's a $5 gift card. It's nothing to do with Cincy. All I'm going to do is stick it in one of these thank you cards I was just showing you, like this. I'm going to say, thanks a latte for being my customer, or something like that. And you know what the hope is? Out of 3, that's $15 a month I'm spending, that I'm going to go immediately onto my tax report, and I'm going to put in as a customer gift. It'll be a tax write-off. And the hope is at least one of them will come on Facebook and tag me and be like, oh my gosh, look what I got from my Cincy consultant. I mean, if I saw someone got something like this from one of their consultants and I didn't really have someone I was committed to, better believe I would want that consultant who does fun things like that. So that's something I'm implementing starting this month. I still figure out who I'm sending it to. I'm going to keep track in my planner because I want to make sure throughout the year that I rotate it, like not the same person's getting it, you know, and like also like, hey, maybe they haven't ordered in a few months, but they used to order a whole lot. A reminder, I'm still here, but I don't really want to bother you about follow-up, but I'm still here. So that's something. One of the things Christina Steinberg really talks about in her team page, and I'm on her team page, so I saw someone post today about how every single time she sends out any kind of mail or any order or anything, she always puts her personalized join brochure, which I don't have any right now, but I used to have a trifold like this with my family about why you should join my team. I got it on Vistaprint, but again, with a cell, you can make them on Word, print them off, and then just a join thing on there. Everything she sends out, she puts join stuff in there. And I think it's kind of genius, actually, because you're always reminding them, hey, I live the Cincy life. The opportunity is here. You never know who's going to come back and join your team. So those are some things I'll be doing with my people in my customer group. The happy birthday, scent circles, Starbucks gift card. Again, hear me when I say I know these cost money. Don't go spending money you don't have at this point in your business. Just make sure that you're sending them a thank you card with a stamp and showing your appreciation to them, and build up to that. Do not feel like you have to send them packages of thank yous with samples and papers. And because a lot of times, like, I've always had a hard time doing that because I wonder, I mean, when I get a lot of stuff in the mail, sometimes I just throw it away. And that's a lot of hard work that you put in, plus your money and time and all of that. Because when you think about what you use, it's not just the wax for the samples, it's the bag you're putting the sample in, it's the envelope you're using, all the paper you're printing. So be mindful and make sure whatever you're doing is working for you. And if you do something for a couple of months, it's not working, like I said at the beginning, be okay with it and starting over. Another tip I want to give you guys is something I'm about to start doing on Facebook. I have always mentioned like picking like 5 customers to really invest my time in on Facebook, where I'm like I have one, her son, every single year, her son does the St. Baldrick's run or something here. It's something we have here. I don't even know really what they do. I think it's a race.
St. Baldrick's, they shave their head.
Okay, I knew that, but do they run?
No.
Okay, I didn't know. But I know they do it, and I love that family, and her son does it I feel dumb. I thought they shaved their head and ran. But every year for the past 3 years, I've donated to the cause. And once again, I go to my taxes, and that's a write-off for donations. Everything you do in your business can be a write-off. But they know, Cassie, thank you. You know, I don't even say, hey, where can I give? I see when they post the link, I go in privately and do it, and then she sends me a thank you. And I do it for my business. You know, like this is Cassie with Cincy doing this. So I'm not telling you guys to go do that. I'm just telling you something I do. All that to say, there are people that I follow what they do. And so something I'm going to try and do every week to 2 weeks, maybe every month, is to pick 5 customers that I really want to make sure I'm putting my time into. And I'm just going to go to Facebook. Let me show you on my phone, just in case you don't know. If you go to Facebook, let's see. Let's go to Sabrina's page. When I go to Sabrina's page, or any page of a person, oh, well, you can already see it. So you can see that little blue button that says following. I don't even see my finger up there. I can't even see my finger. You see it, the following one right there. Click following for your customers so you see their stuff. You can even click following, and it will tell you she's on my default, so I do see stuff she posts. Whoops. Or you can put see first. So those are the people, you see their stuff when they come up first, so you make sure that you're putting your time into them and getting to know them on a personal level too, not just Cincy. That's just a little tip. Another thing with customer care is the way that you present the products that you give them. Cincy no longer sends us bags, and I failed to mention that to people because it's kind of new, but I think it's $1 for 10. Is that right? Okay, so I added one on my order, and I got this bag, and it's got clear bags in it. So this is from Cincy. 10 orders. These are the regular size ones. So if you get like big oversized warmers, they're not going to fit in this one. But I believe I saw in the family store they sell the big oversized ones again, which are really great. That means you can actually package everything in one thing. So I don't have a sample for you guys because, well, I don't have any orders here yet. They come in Wednesday. But I will put the warmers, first of all, you want to label everything with your label. You can create them on Avery, do whatever you want. On Word, however you want to do it. You can order them from Vistaprint, from Print Runner, from all kinds of places. If you order some, I would highly suggest that you put your picture on it. If you don't order any, it's fine. Just don't however you want. Oh, Ashley, are you talking about the bags? Oh, that's awesome. She said Dollar General has them for $25 for one. That's a great deal. So I put their orders in. I put a thank you card in it. I usually put a sample in it. And if I have a sample of the month that month, I throw that in there. I tie it up pretty with a ribbon. Sometimes I put a scent circle around it or whatever. Presentation is key. Some people do pretty gift bags, brown gift bags with pretty tissue paper. Whatever fits you. The clear bags works for me, but a lot of people do really cute things. But again, don't do something that's going to cost you a ton of money.
And the clear bags, when you take them like to an office or something, everybody can see what's in the bag. So I love the clear bags.
I don't know what Jay's talking about, but yes, very true. So a couple of years ago, it was about 3 years ago, I was actually taking a borrow bag, which is a whole nother topic, to church for someone. And I went out shopping for these cute borrow bags, and I got some cute like tribal print ones. I was so proud of them. They were like $8 a piece. I wanted 5, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to spend the money. But I bought them anyways. I get out to my car, and I thought, well, that was just the dumbest thing I ever did. I walked back in there and returned them because I'm putting all this stuff for people to borrow to try out Scentsy. Well, really to try out Scentsy in a bag that nobody can see it. So then I turned around and I was like, no, I'm just going to use one of my clear bags, make it pretty. That way, when I took it into the church, everyone could see what it was. And that really did gain me quite a bit of exposure because people were like, oh, what is that? That was the first thing I took anything Scentsy product-wise into the church. But if you have everything clear, like put away in a bag, like Sabrina said, people can't see it. So some of the things we shared about customer follow-up are your birthday, celebrate them on their birthday, even just post on Facebook. Make an effort every day to look at I'm really bad about this. So make an effort, put it in your planner, put it in your phone to go check birthdays and tell people happy birthday. Tell you, I don't do it because I'm scared I'm going to miss someone. And I don't want someone saying, well, she told her happy birthday, but not me. I always worry about hurting people's feelings way too bad. So I don't do that at all. But I'm telling you, I would suggest that you do that. Do a challenge with your consultants or your customers to do parties. Consider giving them like a little gift once a month, one random person. And you don't even tell them you're doing it. Just send it in the mail. Use your extra half-offs for them. Free bulbs for locals, free shipping for locals. Your presentation to make it pretty. Those are just some ideas that we have. Does anybody have anything that they want to share? Katie said she got thank you cards really cheap from Amazon. Anybody else have anything about customer care? Okay. Well, if you have any questions or anything you want to add, put it over in the comments. Caring for your customers is just so important because you want them to come back to you. And I won't lie. I mean, I'm sure I have lost customers in the past. I know I have because I haven't put forth we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. So you don't have to be perfect. Okay, Sabrina, I'm going to unmute you. Ooh, that's nice. A bath bomb.
Yeah.
I do like the way the brown paper bags look, though. I just don't do them. I do the clear bags because it's easier for me.
And they used to be free.
That was true. So I have.
That's why I did them.
But if you do the brown bags,
Want to see?
Yeah, show us one. You can go to like Uline or those places and order like bulk, and they even sell them on AliExpress. I don't know. When you're looking for cheap stuff to get, like for your samples and stuff. Oh, see, that's so pretty.
Yeah, see, I order all my brown bags and my clear bags from Amazon, and I get like 100. I think I paid $8 for them.
That's a good deal. I hope you're saving
this
receipts for taxes.
This customer ordered 5 Scentsy Goes and 5 pods, and so they got this. I just kind of did them a little bag themselves. It's got a little goodie bag. Anyway, it has a personalized note on it.
I love that. I may actually buy some of those, Katie. For like bars and stuff. Warmers is kind of hard, but I really like the way that looks in the presentation of it, especially.
They come in all different sizes. They come from the great big large ones all the way down to little small ones you can fit 2 bars in. And I just stamp mine with a Scentsy stamp and put tissue paper and write a little thank you note and send it off.
That's awesome. Love it. Oh, I was going to tell you guys, I don't make a lot of samples. I guess we can talk about that now. Kind of talking about income producing activities. I don't make a lot of samples. I'll do samples for my local people. And really, I'm changing to where most of my samples are all laundry. Christina Harmon will be so proud of me. I just, when Sabrina was at the house a couple weeks ago, we were doing an open house. She showed me how she does her laundry. Sorry, it's always like, who's unmuted? I gotta find them. So I bought all the things off AliExpress, which Christina Harmon's been telling me about for some time, but I've just been very adamant about not doing samples. But I do want to get people, what was it? We just read it. We just said it last call, I think. Scentsy laundry is the gateway drug into Scentsy, whatever. What was it? Whiffs?
Washer whiffs are the gateway drug to the laundry.
So, like, I need to give these whiffs. I need to get people trying the laundry more. Like, so that's where my samples are going to be now. But for the most part, I just don't make samples because they're just not income producing. Okay, so today we had a really great director's call, and I don't always get to listen to them live, but today, I don't know why, I felt like I really want to listen to this call. I don't even know why. And then after the call, I got a message from Amanda who said, I normally can't listen to this call, but the time came up where I was able to listen to it today. It was a God thing. And I was like, I know, because it was an amazing call.
It was awesome.
It was so good. And I've only listened to half of it because I had to leave for homeschool group. And we haven't got the recording yet, by the way, which is a bummer since it was so good.
Yeah.
So, you know what, Amanda, do you want to get on and talk with Sabrina? Just with both of y'all together. So let's just kind of talk about the call.
I'm like wearing a robe right now. See, I'm like ready for bed.
Ooh la la.
I'm wearing a robe. I keep turning my off. Yeah.
So is Cassie.
Let me grab my notes, so I'll let Sabrina go first.
A robe.
Oh,
I feel like I've had it like this.
I'll be back in a minute.
A cardigan, if you will. That's not what it's called.
Okay.
I'm going to wear it to the gym in the morning just for you.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Sabrina, tell us about the call today.
Okay, so the call was really amazing because Christina Stainbrook talked about how she used to, spend hours making, that's what it is, Shannon, a kimono. Yep, that's what it looked like. It did. It looked like a kimono.
It is a
which
kimono.
is the same thing as a robe.
So anyway.
So Christina Steinberg was talking about how she used to make all these samples and spend all this time, making these cute little samples and sending out hundreds every month. And she wasn't getting the return like Cassie was. And you know what? I tried it too. And I've tried to at least 3 different versions of it, sending out samples every month. And I'm just not getting the return either. So it's not an income producing activity. Now I make samples for my home parties and to give away in deliveries. That's it. And then every now and then I'll, post a picture of the samples I made and say, who wants one? Then I'm giving away, maybe 4 or 5. I'm not giving away a, 100 a month or anything crazy like that. So, on the other side of that.
But if someone wants a sample of the scent, guys, these are so cheap in the family store. Get you some of these.
Or if you get the scent.
Yeah.
If you get the scent or warmer of the month, then they come in your packet. So that's, absolutely. You can send them the scratch and sniff. Or, if you get the scent of the month or warmer of the month, you do a felt sample. And I get 8 times 8. I get 64 felt samples out of each bar. So I only use 1 bar out of my scent of the month to make my samples, and then the rest of them myself. So what else was it about? Okay, so anyway, stick to income producing activities. And one of the income producing activities that she has decided to focus more on is her customer service and her follow-ups. And one of the things is that when you start doing follow-ups and you get out of your own head, because in your head, if you're honest with yourself, you're thinking, oh, I don't want to bug these people. I don't want to bother them. And even Cassie, a superstar director, said earlier in this call, you can watch the recording, I don't want to bother these people. You said it. And I say it too, but we have to get out of our own heads. We are not bothering people. We are offering them a service by following up, saying, hey, do you need anything? What can I help you with your Scentsy needs? That's our job. We're Scentsy consultants. We're not Scentsy salespeople. We are consultants. We are here to help people with their Scentsy needs. It's our job to make sure they have what they need. So you need to do your job and follow up with those customers. They shouldn't be doing your job for you and having to follow up with you.
That was so I know, right? That was like cooking. That was so good when she said that. She's like, it's not their job.
Yeah, it's our job to follow up with the customers. It's not the customer's job to follow up with us. We're not Walmart, sitting on the street corner where people are going to come to us. They don't necessarily think about it. It's our job to follow up and make sure that they don't run out. I mean, I have people come to me sometimes because I'm not doing my follow-ups and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm down to my last bar of wax. I need to place an order quickly. You know what? If I had followed up with them last week, they would not be in that bind.
Well, too, the thing is, the other thing about that is if you follow up with people on Facebook and they don't respond to you, don't take it personal. I cannot tell you how many times I've followed up, someone reads it, and my customers just think, well, I don't need anything. And then, you know what, 2 weeks later,
right.
okay, I'm ready to place an order, or, hey, I've been kind of thinking about joining your team. Just because they don't respond right there doesn't mean you need to be like, oh, no, it's hard for everyone when we don't get responses, but just be okay with that. I mean, I've had really great customers who order from me regularly, and when I write them and they don't respond, I'm like, I don't understand. Why are they ignoring me? But then 2 weeks later, they're like, okay, I'm ready for place an order. I'm like, okay, great. So I had to get out of my own head with that.
And with that being said, too, we don't have to be everybody's friend. And that, I think, goes along with that sometimes we feel like we have to build this relationship. We have to, be friends with every customer we have. And when they don't write us back, we feel like, well, if they're my friend, why would they not write me back? Why would they not respond? Well, you're not their friend. It's okay. You're their Scentsy consultant. Be their Scentsy consultant.
The devil side of it, and let's get the angelic side of it. You should be friends with everyone.
You should try, but you know what? If they don't want to be friends with you, it's okay. At least that's what I'm telling myself.
It is okay.
Stop it, Cassie. It's okay.
That just sounded like such a you.
Sorry, that was me.
No, it was cute. You should try though. But some people, you are just a business person.
I do try.
Again, Sabrina's more of I'm more of a hey, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
So that's why we're such good friends, I guess, probably, and I can say that to her.
Yin and yang.
So, okay, Amanda, what did you take away from the call that was so great?
Okay, I wasn't prepared, y'all. So this is what I have, but I promise not to go over all of it. Okay. First, I want to say, hold on. Let me get to the point I'm going to make.
Amanda, your service isn't that great.
What?
Can you go outside?
Oh, okay. I'll be back.
Her service is not very good unless she's on that back porch. So
that makes no sense.
Girl, I don't know. That's awesome. What was I going to say? Oh, Sabrina said, I think this is a call that everyone on our team should get to hear.
Yes.
And I was like, she's like, or maybe we just reshare it. I was like, yeah, I think that's the key. And guys, you have to realize, even if you're at the beginning of your business, everything you're doing, we are all still doing. No matter if we're a director, above, if we've been here 4 years, 3 years, we all have to do the same things to keep our business going. And many times we all still struggle with the same things. I'm not sure if Amanda's still there. She really disappeared. Oh.
Hey, can I tell you something really quick?
Yeah, you
can. You hear me? Okay,
Yes.
so I always worry about the same thing about following up with people that I'll be bothering them. So I actually failed to follow up or failed to let somebody know about the unicorns other than just posting about it on Facebook. And she actually got upset with me for not private messaging her and telling her about the unicorn. And she had ignored me my past 2 follow-ups. So it doesn't matter. If you think they'll like it, let them know and let them know that it'll sell out soon. And don't even worry about whether they respond.
Thanks for that advice. That's awesome. All
Can I
right,
add something on there, Cassie?
yeah.
On the follow-ups, the first call that I ever went on was Daniel and Amanda, and they were saying follow up with the people because they're more than likely to buy again from you. So that's actually when Roy sold the diffuser. I had sold her like $200 worth of stuff, and then she came by and saw the diffuser and ended up buying a diffuser and the 3 oils and some more stuff. So following up, you never know, they could buy again.
That's awesome. What is it they say that your customer, Christina said it again today, like
It's within 1 week after purchasing, they're usually ready to purchase again, because inevitably that first, think about it. When you go to this, say your first Scentsy party and you wanted 10 things in the catalog, how many did you order? Maybe 2 or 3. So you know you wanted more. So the thing is for us to follow up, because maybe in a week you'll be ready to order the rest of that stuff you wanted.
yes. What was I just thinking? She said, gosh, it just left me. But pretty much, she said many times you get in that mindset like, well, they just ordered last week, or they just had a party, or they just had Christmas, or something like that. And like sorry, I got sidetracked on the comments. We forget, or we don't follow up because we're thinking like that. But she said since she has changed that mindset, a lot of her people are reordering again within 2 weeks, which is pretty great. So, Amanda, are you there? Are you there? I just have to tell y'all, I am really excited to send out a Starbucks gift card, and I really hope it pays. I hope they're excited. I hope they send me a message back, like, because it's so not even Scentsy that I'm not sending them anything Scentsy. I'm just saying thank you for being a great customer. Enjoy coffee on me or whatever. I think I would feel so honored if, like, let's say my Unique girl did that, or my Premier Jewelry girl did that. You know, like.
I mean, I'm stealing that idea.
I know, perhaps I should be a better customer to someone, right? But really, think about it. If you go to Starbucks and get a coffee this month, choose to give up that coffee this month and get 1 gift card for someone and send it to someone that's been a great customer. And just surprise them. Gosh, how exciting. Happy Mail for your customers. And it's not just a sample they're probably going to throw away. All right, Amanda, head.
Okay, hang on. Can y'all hear me? Yeah? Okay, is it better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I wrote down a couple of the same things that Sabrina's already said. Like, it blew my mind that the average customer places an order 1 week after their last order. That was kind of like eye-opening. And then it is my job to bother them about Scentsy. It's not their job to remember, because people are busy and I am too. So in fact, it made me think about the emails. Like, for instance, I'm kind of in love with Erin Condren products, but sometimes I don't go look at them, but I get an email every now and then, and I'm like, oh, let me go check that out. And it made me think of that. So I need to pay attention to that. She said a lot of things that struck with me, but she said she was wasting time doing things that she had to bring it back to, I guess they were talking about 80% and 20%. So what do I have to do, and what takes up most of my time but doesn't bring results? Okay, so that was like, I guess, where she went, and she stopped doing things that were pointless. And she said she got back to the basics of PRV, sponsoring, and PRV sponsoring and creating action. That was what it was. Christina Steinbrook, who might be someone I should really consider following. She said it wasn't that I wasn't good at certain things. It's that I was making excuses not to do them. And so that struck a chord with me, because we spend a lot of time, or I do, maybe making samples, maybe staying on Facebook too much, maybe doing things. She makes flyers and samples and all this stuff, and she called that fluffy stuff. And she said that she was wasting time doing that stuff and not doing the things that she knew she needed to do, and using that as an excuse not to do it. So she said, tell yourself or call yourself out. Like say, Amanda, you're deliberately choosing not to do what's necessary to make your business what it should be. And her PRV was kind of, I guess she said 500, 800, I think, a month. And she, in changing this, she went back to the basics of what Scentsy was. And every single order that she gets, she tries to get it to 200. So not by that person, but she goes back and gets other orders. And makes it a party. Like it's her goal in the next 48 hours to close that as a party, and her PRV has skyrocketed in doing that. She said, create opportunities to spoil people. So in all this follow-up, you have plenty of opportunities to spoil your good customers. And then what Scentsy really is, PRV sponsoring and talking to people. And then the last thing she said was she does her fluffy stuff after the challenging things, and she compared it to dinner and dessert. So once she's eaten her dinner, then she can have her dessert. So she enjoys making the flyers and making the samples and all of that stuff, but that's just filler. And it's fun for her. And so she does that after what's necessary. And then somebody else, I think that was on there, said this, create a filter. Does this bring me the results that I want? Or is it an excuse I'm using to not do something more challenging for myself? So that really was eye-opening to me. And basically, I need to simplify what I do so that I'm focusing on PRV, sponsoring, and talking to people, and that includes my team. So that's really important to me. And I think that I covered most of it. I'm sure that there's more, but.
You know what's so awesome is that I said last night that we were going to do customer care before we even heard the director call. So it just really played right in really well, because I think many times we get in and we're like, oh, I'm going to do all these samples and we create all these flyers. I mean, I am all about being original, creating your own things, but you could do those, sorry, simply by holding this up, hello, and or something, you know, and making your own flyer. They don't have to be amazing or anything like that, just being original. And, you know, we do, when I find that I'm not doing like what I need to be doing, it's because maybe I don't. Okay, perfect example. So I go to homeschool group on Mondays, and I purposely always take my bag with all my cards that I'm going to work on. The past 2 weeks I've worked on like these cards that need to go in the mail. And I've worked on them there because it's an hour without my children that I don't feel guilty giving up that time from them. But I'm choosing to use that hour doing that, which is honestly fluff in a sense, but I do enjoy doing that instead of engaging with other moms there. So today I actually engaged with other moms there, and we were just talking, I know, right? We were talking about homeschooling and how like we were just talking about different options, the swim team and all this stuff. And one of the moms mentioned a school she had looked into, putting her kid in. And I was like, oh yeah, I did that. You know, he went like 3 days a week. And I just said, you know, honestly, y'all, I just wish I could put my kids somewhere for 1 day. 1 day a week would be amazing. And all these moms agreed. And then they were just talking, we were talking about that. And I just started laughing and said, you know, this is how I threw it in. This is a Cassie way. I just said, yeah, I work from home. And last week, I called a babysitter and I said it was the last day of the month, and the last and first are always so busy. I called a babysitter and said, can you come take my kids to the zoo for the day or for a few hours? And I was like, and they went and they got out of the house and they had a good time. And I was able to super focus on the things I needed to get done. What do you think the next question was? What do you do from home? I was like, oh, I sell Scentsy. And I said, you know, I mean, it's direct sales, but I have a pretty large organization and customer base that need, you know, my help. So sometimes it's a little work. And that was the end of Scentsy. But guess what? Next week, it'll come up again now that I engaged with these moms. And now I tend to pull myself in the back end and do my own thing because it's nerve-wracking for me to talk to new people. It's not something I overly enjoy. Strangely enough, I really enjoy talking to people behind the computer. The face-to-face, it's a little nerve-wracking. So I realized that today, like I'm choosing to sit here and do these kinds of things instead of talking to new people who could potentially join my team one day, who could potentially be a customer. And that is the key. Like, I had a talk with someone earlier. She may be on here, I don't know. And we were talking about like how her friends and family, they're just not interested, and she can't get any parties booked. She's really struggling. And we were just talking about it. And I just said, you know, Sabrina always says to leave your family and your close friends on reserve, not to try and get them to buy from you. And she talked about how her sister-in-law really just, she's asked her a few times and she's just not interested. And I said, well, you know what? My sister-in-laws don't buy from me. Like, it's actually almost a joke that I always feel, I know they don't mean it this way, but a lot of times I feel like they almost, it's a laughable matter that I do this whole time. And when I'm like, you could just join me, but instead, and I'm sure some of you have experienced this, they're joining other direct sales companies. And I'm like, but I don't understand why. I can help you. Like, you see me being successful. Why not? You know? And so we kind of talked about that. And I told her, you have to find a way to get out of your circle. And it's the same way with me. Like, I may have been doing this longer. I may be at the top of the company now, but y'all, that could be taken from me faster than anything if I choose to quit working with my team, quit meeting new people, quit all that. Like, you cannot keep doing everything with just your circle. So how do you get out of your circle? Have a party. One party can change everything. That's a whole nother topic. Anyways, Corey, I feel you. Corey says, I hate talking to people. She went to the park and just started talking to other moms. It was rough. That's awesome. And see, that's what you have to do. You have to go and practice. Parks are my favorite because I will well, when my kids were little, now they don't need me, but I would purposely swing a child next to a mom. And then I would just be like, oh, do you stay home? So awkward. But I would always bring it up, like, do you stay home while I'm swinging? And then it always came up. People don't always show interest online. And guys, if you're my friend on Facebook, you will see when I post Cincy something, and it's probably the same way with you, I get very few likes, very few comments. Every live I do, everything I post, and I get comments, it's always y'all, which is fine because it's bumping it for more people to see. My customers, they respond more when it's personal.
It's so frustrating. I'll post something and then I'll get private messages about it from my customers. I'm like, would you just like my post or comment on my post? Don't private message me.
But here's the thing.
But they're still seeing it. They
are, and at least they're private messaging you, and they don't always, but sometimes they do, right? But other people that are watching it, they don't know if you are there, if they are those people commenting on your customer team. Like today when I went live with Noah and Sydney in a bathtub, like, and some of you were on there like watching or even commenting, like, no one knew that you're on my team. You know, like my customers don't really know. So, and the more, if you have a team and you see people and they post something, make a comment on there because it bumps their stuff where their customers will be able to see it more. Does anyone want to add anything? I hope this call brought value to you and you got some ideas with customer pages. I just took my 3 cards. I know one person I'm sending this card to, but I just put up here like, thanks a latte for your biz. And then I'm going to put it in a gift, in a card. I'm actually going to handwrite something nice to them. But I have one customer I know for sure. I'm going to have to go looking who else I'm going to send it to. So yeah, I hope this brought some value to you guys and you guys are able to take something away from it. If you have local customers, I would not challenge you. I would encourage you to do as you start building your stock, to do the free bulbs for people that are local. Now I have had people that they don't order from me in a year and they want to come to me for free bulbs all the time. So you need to be mindful of that and make sure that you're keeping track, kind of like Sabrina said, they have to buy a warmer to get free bulbs because you don't want people to take advantage of you. But I guess that's that. Anyone want to add anything or have questions? Okay, well, thank you guys for attending, and let us know if you try anything. Post on Brave Family and let us know. All right, bye, guys.